The first challenge we realized, which is part of my 7-point agenda, is that of security. You are all aware, honorable members, of the security situation in those areas where we have minerals and in some parts of our nation. Now, that security situation had become so debilitating to the successful execution and promotion of that solid mineral sector. So we needed to think outside the box. Hitherto, it had always been deploying military personnel, police personnel, security agencies in general, combat of these flashpoints. But upon closer scrutiny and assiduous research, we discovered that Nigeria has a very wide landscape. And without us rejigging the security architecture in place and injecting a larger dose or measure of technology into it, we will be deceiving ourselves. We will be scratching the issue on the surface. So I embarked on interministerial meetings, meeting with the ministers of defense, both of them, meeting with the chief of army staff, meeting with the national security advisor, meeting with all the security agencies, their heads, with a view to coming up with a very foolproof security architecture that can help us or enable us to achieve that objective of clearing the insecurities in our mining areas, so that whoever comes in to invest, whether local or foreign investor, can have a very secure environment to operate and maximize his or her profit, from which government can derive adequate and efficient royalty and taxes to increase our revenue and achieve our objectives. That, Mr. Chairman and honorable members, is going on as we speak. And in due course, you would all be taken into confidence when we want to roll out that new security architecture. But this time around, there will be artificial intelligence involved. We have to use the mechanism so that we don't just deploy men and materials into a wide expanse of land or bush. But now, with the introduction of artificial intelligence, we'll be able to pinpoint flashpoints and then deploy men and materials more efficiently and more effectively to combat insecurities and insurrections. And one pernicious discovery that we made, Mr. Chairman, is that a lot of these banditries, terrorisms, insecurities that we associate with this sector are actually sponsored by illegal miners. Now, these illegal miners are not your artisanal miners. They are not the people who pick gold rusts on the ground. No. These are heavy, powerful individuals in our country. And they are Nigerians. They are not foreigners. Yes, you can see foreigners as symptoms, but the foreigners are not the diseases. Nigerians are the powers behind those foreigners that you see on the streets. We are identifying them, and we are employing various strategies, kinetic and non-kinetic. Non-kinetic with the artisanal, the so-called lower rungs of the ladder of illegal mining. And those ones, as part of my 7-point agenda, I gave an ultimatum of 30 days, which was extended another 30 days, that they should form themselves into cooperatives. Because, as I said earlier on, nobody, every Nigerian has a right to life, has a right to basic necessities of life. And so, if government cannot provide access to these basic necessities, we cannot drive people into the bush or we can't push them into the sea. So those of them who are so-called illegal miners, but petty illegal miners, we have encouraged them to form themselves into cooperatives so that they can be formalized and do their businesses legitimately and a legitimate living. And then, because they would have become structures, formalized structures, government can then identify them and then derive the necessary royalties and taxes therefrom. These royalties and taxes hitherto were lost to government because government will be chasing individual illegal miners all over the place. But because we have striven to legitimize them and make them responsible citizens of Nigeria, and in legitimate means, they are also further encouraged. And I can announce to you, sirs, that within the period I announced that measure, the policy, and now over 50 cooperative societies have been formed